Welcome to qnawire.
The value of the correlation coefficient is n, which is 16, times the sum of the product of x and y, which is 42,560, minus the product of the sum of the x's, 160, and the sum of the y's, 4,160, divided by the square root of n times the sum of the x squareds minus the sum of the x's squared times n times the sum of the y squareds, 1,177,600, minus the sum of the y's squared. Okay, let me get that into a calculator. And that is equal to 0.4. Exactly. Number 7, if x and y were switched, the correlation coefficient would remain the same between the two variables. So even if you switch it, it would still be 0.4. And what is the equation of the fitted least squares regression? Well, that's y equals a plus bx, and the slope of b is n times the product of the x and y's, so that'd be 42,560. That'd be sum of the products, minus the sum of the x's, the product of the sum of the x's and the sum of the y's, over n times the sum of the x squareds, minus the sum of the x's squared. Calculate that in a moment. And the intercept is calculated as the sum of the y's minus, well, I'll calculate it now because we're going to use it. So let me get the slope calculated. And so it's the slope that we just calculated times the sum of the x's over n. And that would be equal to let's see, so y equals 100 plus 16x.